Hello everyone, in this video I will show you how you can run fast Next Starterkit on your local machine. First of all, you have to download this project, and to download this project visit pykits.dev, then create an account, then simply log in using your credentials. Then go to the home page, scroll down here and you will see that fast Starterkit with Next.js frontend and React native application. These are the features included. So if you want, you can read this. If you want to know more about this project, then you can click on view detail page. This is the detail page. You can read a brief introduction about this project. You can also visit the same page using the browse app. Click on this button, then you can visit this view detail page. So let's discuss few features of FastAPI project. So it has JWT authentication, HTTP only cookie for web, and bearer token for mobile application as well. It has social authentication, Google and GitHub, advanced RBAC and permission system. It has in-app notification system, built-in blog modules, Google Analytics, background task and scheduling using Celery, Redis and Redbit. It also has caching and rate limiting features. It has health monitoring feature, Docker containerize. It has production ops like automatically backup database on cloud storage, one-click maintenance mode, structured logging. It also has technical documentation, so developer can read this documentation and customize these projects, whether it's FastAPI, Next.js or React Native. So once you log in, you will see here buy button. So simply click on buy button, then proceed with the payment. Once you make payment, you will be redirected to my apps where you can download your project. So simply click on this download button, and in few seconds the download will be start. As you can see, the download has started and it will be complete in few seconds. This is the zip file, fast next starterkit -main.zip. So this is the project which we have to extract because it is a zip file. So let's go back to the downloaded file, right click on it, then use any software like WinZip, WinRAR or 7-zip to extract this file. And once you extract it, you will see FastAPI starterkit -main folder, and if you open this, then you will find three projects. The first project is FastAPI starterkit, second one is Next starterkit, and third one is RN starterkit, which means React native starterkit. I'm going to rename it, as Moyo main. I'm going to write it as Moyo main. So Moyo is the brand name of my product. I mean, if you want to rename, then simply rename it as like this. Otherwise, you can leave it as default. I'm going to rename Moyo main, the main folder, and I will also rename these folders so you could understand how you can rename this folder as your brand name. Let's start with FastAPI project. So simply right click on it, then click on rename, copy this text, then paste it on a notepad like this. Then again click here, then rename, and simply write your own brand name like Moyo AI. This is the name of Moyo AI, but as it is a backend, so you can write a Moyo backend or Moyo AI backend. I'm going to write it Moyo backend. Right click on it, then open with VS Code or any other IDE. Then we will use find and replace feature of VS Code to replace text. If you are using any AI model, you can ask him to replace the text, this text, to your brand name, and I believe the AI model will do the job. For now, I'm going to use this find and replace feature, which is I think enough for this simple task. But if you have any AI model, if you extensively use AI model, then you can use that as well. So I'm going to use the search button. Click the search button, then right here FastAPI starterkit, then simply click on these two buttons, which is a match case and match whole word. Simply highlight these two buttons, then replace with your brand name, which is Moyo backend. I would suggest you to replace text one by one so you could understand what is happening within your project. So click on this file, then as you can see, this is going to replace with our brand name. So simply click on this replace button. There are two buttons. First one is replace, the second one is dismiss or delete. So if you want to replace, then simply click on this replace button. So I'm going to replace, click this replace button. Then in Docker files, yes, simply click this button and this will rename the Docker file as well. Pipe project terminal, yes, replace this, but you do not need to replace in .md file. So simply dismiss, click on dismiss button. UV lock, yes, you have to replace UV lock. So simply click on this replace button and it has replaced. Now uncheck this match whole word by clicking once here, and this will show you few more replaceable locations. So click here and then replace, git ignore, Yes, replace Docker files as well. Then do not replace .md file, so dismiss it. Uncheck this match case button. Click here. One. Then there is nothing to replace, as you can see. Now we will write fast API starter it and look for any changes there is. So change Moyo. Moyo. I think Moyo is the Moyo backend. If you want your brand name as Moyo backend, only then replace the project name as Moyo backend. Otherwise, if you want to have it as Moyo AI, because this is your brand name, I mean the user will see it as your brand identity. This is not your project folder name or any path name. This is your brand. This will become your brand identity. So I would suggest you write your full name, not exclude your backend or frontend suffix or prefix. This will be better. So Moyo backend is here. I am going to write, and simply the project name should be Moyo AI. For this, click here, and make file as well. And I'm going to dismiss for .md file. Yes, you don't need to rename the md file. Yes, project name should be Moyo AI. Then simply dismiss all these md files. And I think we are done with FastAPI replacing stuff. Now go back to the .md.example, and we have to change this project slug. We do not want FastAPI Starterkit as a project slug. However, we are not using this, but for consistency, we should rename it to Moyo AI. So I believe the renaming part has been done. Now let's set up this project for local development. So copy this file .env.example, copy this file, then paste it and rename it as .env. This is for local, okay? And then we have to change values of these variables. Like for local, you have to write local. I had created this .env.example for production, so you have to change few things here to make it for local development, make it compatible with local development. Okay, so env local debug should be true, time zone UTC, enable docs true, make env change it to dev, so it will run this docker compose.dev YML file. Then project name is Moyo AI, which is correct. Okay, now if you want to have a real secret key, then you can run this command, but for now in the development it will be okay. JWT algorithms, if you want to check JWT authentication token expiry, then I would suggest you to change it to a short period of time. So let's change it to 2 minutes only. So scroll down. Now if you want to enable email verification, I mean when a user sign up or register within your application, he will receive an email to verify his account, and once he verify his account, only then he will be able to log in into your web application. If you want to have this feature, then keep this as true, otherwise you can disable it writing here as false. So it's totally depends on you which features you want to enable or disable. So for now let's keep it as true. Then this is the Postgre. We are not going to use Postgres SQL on production. We'll use SQLite. So simply comment this and highlight this one, SQLite. You must have data folder here. So if you do not have data folder, I would suggest you to create a data folder which will contain local.db file. It will automatically generate when we will run lmb command. So these credentials are only for production, not for development. Development will use SQLite 3. Then we have to change db engine, so change it to SQLite db echo. Yes, in development I want to inspect which SQL queries are running behind the scene. Then Redis, yes, so you have to enable Redis. Are we going to use rate limiting? Yes, so keep it as true. If you do not, as I said earlier, if you want to enable these features, then set it as true. Otherwise you can set it as false if you do not want to enable these features. Whether it's Redis enabled, rate limit enabled, or require email verification enable or disable feature. So Redis host, Redis port, Redis DB, Redis Seri, these will be, keep these as it is. Redis username, password, default. Now the next part is email backend. Email backend has two options. First is SMTP and second one is recent. SMTP, if you write SMTP here, then you can use Mailtrap, Gmail, SES. But to use these services, you have to go to the service provider website, then have to generate credential and write those credential here. But if you want to resend, then simply replace this SMTP to resend. Then you have to change the email from, which is for testing, I think, demo resend. You do not need to provide these credential for resend. Rather, you have to provide recent API key. So you will have to generate recent API key and paste the API key here, which we'll do in few minutes. Please keep in mind, if you are using email backend recent, then you'll have to provide a recent API key. Recent is an email service provider. So you'll have to register or create an account on recent website. Then you will be able to generate a recent API key. You can ignore these credentials simply because we are using recent. These are only valid if you use email backend as SMTP. So scroll down. Now storage backend, we are going to use local for local development. And once you set storage backend local, then it will look for local storage media folder. So if you do not have media folder, you can create it. Otherwise, it will create, and the project will create it. Local storage base URL, keep it as it is. Now we do not have to provide these credentials as we are using storage backend as local. So if you change storage backend to S3, only then you will have to provide these credentials. Scroll down and frontend URL will be your Next.js URL, which is I think correct. Course allow origin will be your frontend URL, which is also seems correct. Now secure cookie, set it as false and keep it as Lex. You don't need to write anything cookie domain in development, but in production you have to write your domain with dot. Now here social authentication. If you want to enable social authentication, specifically Google authentication, then change its value to true, otherwise keep it as false. For now, let's leave it as false. I'll show you how you can create this credential in a minute. Similar for GitHub authentication. Now here we have few external integration, for example Google Analytics GA4. So if you want to enable Google Analytics, then simply change it to true, otherwise keep it as false. Once you enable Google Analytics feature, they will have to provide these credentials. Similarly for Google reCAPTCHA and then Telegram bot. Scroll down and leave these things as default. Then here we have to change it to SQLite. So change it to SQLite for development. DB backup, yes. Database storage should be local for local development. And we are ready to run this project. To run this project, you must have Python, UV, and Docker installed in your machine, whether it's a Linux or Windows. So I'm going to run Docker desktop Docker. So here is a Docker desktop, click here. So Docker engine has started. Let's minimize it for now. And we have a file here, make file. As I said, you must have Python, UV, Docker installed in your system as well as make file. You must have make file installed in your system, so you could run make file commands. Because I have created few make file command. So to rebuild this project, we have make rebuild command. You can go through this help text or simply run make help, which will display all these as, let me show you, make help. And here we have all the useful commands. So this is the brand name, Moyo AI env based make file. So when you set make file env equal dev in your .env file, let me show you this one, make env equal dev, then it will use docker compose.dev.yml file. Now let's go through the commands one by one. So make up to start container, make rebuild to rebuild image, no cache, make ps to show running containers, make ps all to show all containers, start to start stopped containers, stop to stop containers, exec to shell into app container. I mean, if you want to access the container which has your project, then you can simply run make exec. Then make down to remove, stop and remove container, make down -v, stop and remove container plus volume. And you should not run this command in your production environment. Make fast API -logs. If you want to check fast API logs for any reason, then you can run this command. Salary logs, bit logs, then salary log. If you want to run Alembic revision, then you can use make Alembic revision, then message, your message. It will create migration and it is for dev only. So make migrate, it will apply migration. This is basically head command, upgrade head of Alembic. Then downgrade, we have downgrade as well, DB CLI. If you want to access database CLI, this is for production. Then we have a Redis command, make Redis CLI. If you want to access Redis CLI, then you can run this command. Make deploy, this is for production only. And then in production, you may have to install Nginx. So these are for Nginx, which are not useful in development. So the most useful commands are make rebuild, make ps all, make start, make stop, make exec. Then here we will use make migrate or make alembic revision, then message. These are the top command which we run often. So cls, and let's run the make rebuild, which will build all containers. So make rebuild. And here make rebuild, hit enter, and as you can see, this one is using composer.dev.yml file, no cache, and your container will be up in few minutes. Okay, so containers are all up and running. As you can see, let's verify it manually. So here are the containers, as you can see, and all are running very well. Open any web browser, then visit the localhost or 127.0.1 colon 8000. You will see an error like this SQL alchemy, this, and this, because we haven't run alembic command. So let's go back to the terminal, and here we will run cls this screen, then make migrate. As you can see, there is a data folder which have local.db, but it does not have any table yet. So to create these tables, we have to run make migrate. We already have migration file, as you can see, alembic folder, any alembic folder, and in version folder there is an initial migration file. So we will run that migration file using make migrate, and it will generate all required tables. So as you can see, there are tables now. Now let's go back to the web browser, then refresh this page, and as you can see, this is now working. Go to the docs to access Swagger UI. Now we have all the API routes here. Now initially you have to run, the very first time you have to run few commands. And what are those? Let me show you. Go back to the VS Code, then open this readme.md file, scroll down, then run make manage make role. So copy this. This will see default roles, system roles. So cls, then paste it, remove these backticks, then hit enter, and it will create 3 system roles: user, admin, and super admin. cls, then run this make manage make permission. This will create default permissions. So remove backticks, then hit enter, and this will generate all basic permissions for this project. Then again copy this. This will map role and permission. Remove these backticks, then hit enter, and it will map role and permission. And now if you want to create a super admin, then you can use this command as well. So copy this cls, paste it, remove backtick, then simply hit enter, and it will ask you to enter email id. So let's write email id sa@example.com, then hit enter. You have to write password. So password will be super admin, then hit enter, and the password and the super admin has created successfully. cls, now go back to the browser and refresh this page. Click here to check everything is okay. You will run heartbeat. So try it out, execute, and it should return status okay. So this is the project is running perfectly fine. Now let's try to log in using the super admin credential which we created few minutes ago. So click on try it out, and then you have to write email. So it's SA, then password was super admin if I'm not wrong, and then click on execute button, and here you can see the response body email is sa@example.com. as it's a admin super admin user, so is active it is true by default, is verified is true by default, id is 1, role is super admin, and it has all permissions, so the permission is empty, and auth provider is local. This is how you can log in. Now you can access system health status as you have logged in as a super admin. So try it out, then click on execute button, and it will show you database is healthy, Redis is healthy, salary is healthy, overall status is healthy. So everything is working fine. Redis, salary, and database. Now you can create an account or register a new account, as it has a reCAPTCHA. So you have to provide X client type. X client type can be mobile or web, as we are using in web. So you have to provide web here. Okay. Or simply disable this for development purpose. In development, simply disable this reCAPTCHA thing, and you can create without providing mobile or web or any captcha token. I'm not going to discuss the feature in this video, as it is about how you can run the project in your local development machine. So this is the FastAPI project which we have successfully run. Now before jumping into Next.js project, let's create credentials. So .env has few variables which required credential, and credential which we have to create mostly in Google. So very first thing is, let me show you the first credential which we have to create is recent. So let's create a reset credential. We just need to create an API key for recent. So go to the recent website, create an account, then log in. Then you will have to click here, API key, click here, Then click on create API key, click here, then write the theme. So I'm going to write it Moyo backend or Moyo development for, as it is for development. So I'm going to write Moyo dev, then click on add button. This is the API key. So simply copy this API key, then go back to the VS Code and paste the API key here. Remember, as we are in development phase, so you have to write email from demorecent.com if I'm not wrong. Click on done. Now the next credential is to create Google authentication credential, like web client ID, web client secret. Go to the Google, then search Google Cloud Console, open this website, click here, then create a new project. Click on this new project, then write project name like Moyo dev, then click on create button, and the project has been created. Click here one more time, then select your project, Moyo dev. Make sure that you have selected the correct project, then click on this three navigation menu icon, API and services, then click on OAuth consent screen. Click here, click clients, click this get started button. Now you'll have to write your app name here. So I'm going to write Moyo, select user support email, click on next, select external, click next. Then you'll have to write your email. So I'm going to copy this email, the same email, then paste it here, then click on next. Check this box, click continue, then click create. Now click on clients again, then click create client. Click here, select application type as a web application, then you'll have to write your name here. I'm going to write Moyo web app. Scroll down, then write add URI button, and you will have to write your backend URL here. So the backend URL is http://127.0.0.1:8000. Okay. Scroll down, then add URI, this authorized redirect URI. Click this button, and now go back to the VS Code, then copy this URL. This is the URL. This is the callback URL. So copy it and paste it here. Then simply click on create button. This is the client ID. So copy this client ID. Go back to the VS Code, paste the client ID here, save it. Now go back to the web browser. This is the client secret. So copy it, then paste it here. So we have Google Web Client ID, Google Web Client secret, and the URL was already there. So simply change it to true, and you will able to use this Google authentication feature. Similarly, you have to create Android client ID and iOS client ID. iOS client ID is very easy to create, but for Android client ID, you may have to follow few instructions. As I have written here, these are not required in the backend. You may have to write these credentials when you will use frontend, I mean React Native application, in the React Native application. So for now, I'm going to skip this, and let's move into the GitHub authentication. So change it to true, and now we have to create client ID and client secret. This is the callback URL for GitHub. Click OK, open a new tab, then log in into your GitHub account. Click this icon, then go to the settings, scroll down, click developer settings, OAuth apps, click here, new OAuth app, click here. Then here write your application like Moyo dev, homepage URL. This is the callback URL which we had copied. So I'm going to paste it first and copy this backend URL, homepage URL, and paste it here. We missed 10. You don't need to write description, simply register, click on this button, register application, and you will see your client ID. So copy this client ID, then go back to the VS Code client ID. This is the client ID, so paste it here. And now we have to generate client secret. To generate client secret, click on this button, generate a new client secret, click here. And you'll have to verify your account, your GitHub account. Click on verify button. Once you verify your account, you will see that the client secret has generated. So simply copy this client secret, go back to the VS Code, then paste it here. So now we are ready to use GitHub authentication as well. Google authentication is ready to use. GitHub authentication is also ready to use in the backend. Now scroll down, and we'll enable Google authentication, Google Analytics. So change it to true. And now we have to create this project ID, property ID, client email, and private key. And these are random numbers for TTL. So let me show you how you can generate project ID, product, property ID, and other stuff. So let's go back to the Google Cloud. Let's open a new tab, search Google Analytics, click on this link, then click go to Analytics, and then click this setting admin button. Click on create, then let's create an account. Click here, account. I'm going to name it as Moyo dev. Click on next button, and you have to write your property name. So Moyo Pro, Moyo Prop. Then you can change your country. You can also change currency. Then click on next button. Select industry category. For me, I'm going to use job and education, small. Then click next button. Your business objective, I'm going to select all these except then simply click on create button. Now change the country to India or your own country. Take this box, click on I accept. Wait for a few seconds, then click on web. Then you will have to write here your website URL. So change it to HTTP. Then you'll have to write here your front end URL. So I'm going to write 127.0.0.1 colon 3000. 3000 port is the Next.js port. So 3000. Then you can write a name, Moyo dev. No, Moyo is enough. So Moyo, then simply click on create and continue. Make sure that you have selected HTTP, not HTTPS, because we are in development phase. And here it is a front end URL, your Next.js URL. Click create and continue. Wait for a few seconds. By the way, you can change these credentials later. Like if you want to change your URL, then you can change it. So here is the script. You do not have to do anything. Simply click on close button, and this will prompt you with the measurement ID. So you need this measurement ID in the front end. But for now, as we are in backend, but we will copy this and paste it in Notepad because we need it later when we'll set up Next.js project. That time we have to use this measurement ID. Close it, then click on next, continue to home. Now click on this admin button again. Make sure that the project is selected here, Moyo prop. And now we need to click property detail. So click here and you will find out your property ID. So copy this, then go back to the VS Code, and here we have property ID. Save it. Now we will have to create a service account, and a service account will provide us project ID, client email, private key. So let's go back to the web browser, then search for Google Cloud Console. Click here. We already had created a Moyo dev project, so we will use this project for Google Analytics as well. Click on this navigation menu icon, then API and services. Enable API and services. Click here, enable API and services. Click here, enable API and services, which will direct you to this API library and search for analytics. Scroll down a bit and you will see Google Analytics data API. Select this, then enable this API. Just click on this button, enable. So the service has enabled. Now we have to create credential for this credential item. Then click here, create credential, then select service account. Click here. Now service account name, you have to write service account name. So I'm going to write Moyo ACC. There's the client ID, but we'll copy it later. So service account Moyo ACC. Click on create and continue. This is optional, so click continue. Click on done. Created a service account. Click on this email. Click keys, add key, create a new key. Select JSON, click on create button, and it will download a JSON file. So open this JSON file in Notepad++ or any editor. So this is the service account file. Close this and let me show you all the credentials. So here we have project ID. Simply copy this, Moyo dev, and go back to the VS Code. Here paste it, Moyo dev. Now we need client email. So scroll down and here we have client email. So copy this, then paste it here. Now we need GA private key, and make sure that you copy /n to /n. So go back to the Notepad++, and I'm going to copy it from here to here. So copy it, then go back to the VS Code, then simply select these 3 dots and paste the key which we copied. Then Ctrl S to save it. And we are done with Google Analytics. So it is enabled, having all required credentials. Now it's time to set up reCAPTCHA, and for that we have to create site key and secret key. So now let's go back to the website, search on Google reCAPTCHA, then click on this website. Get started one more time, and here we are. So write a label like Moyo dev, then choose challenge v2 because we are using v2. I'm not a robot. Tick box, and here you have to write your domain. So this is basically front-end domain. So I'm going to write 127.0.0.1, and you do not need to write your port as it will be considered as invalid domain, as you can see here. So just write 127.0.0.1 and make sure that you have selected your correct project, which is Moyo dev for us. Click on this submit button, and now you have site key. So simply click here to copy site key, then go back to the VS Code, paste it here. Now go back to the website, copy secret key and paste it here. So now we have Google reCAPTCHA credential as well. Now it's time to enable Telegram notification. So change it to true, and you'll have to create bot token and chat ID. I cannot show you, but it is very easy to create. Allow me to write steps. So the very first step is create an account on Telegram, then search for bot father, So first step is register with Telegram. I mean, create an account with Telegram. Then search for board father. Then write command there start, and it will reply you with a few basic commands where you have to enter slash new board. Then it will ask you to choose a name of for your board. So write any name, like for this project I'm going to write Moyo Dev, and then it will ask you to choose a username, and it must end in bot. So something like this, Moyo Dev bot. Okay, and once you enter your username, it will reply you with done, congratulations on your new bot. You will find it at this particular URL. Simply click on that URL and it will redirect you to your on bot. The congratulation message will have token which you have to write here, bot token. And for chat ID, write this URL in the web browser. You have to write your bot token here, and it will respond you back with chat ID, first name and type. Chat ID is very similar to something like this, and the bot token is very similar to something like this. So you'll have to follow these 7 steps to get this credential. But for now, these are just dummy credentials. As we do not have real credential for Telegram, so I'm going to disable it, writing false here. So I think we are all done. Now you can check Google authentication, GitHub authentication, Google Analytics, resend. These all will work in development as well. Please keep in mind that you have to change this credential in production, as you'll have to provide real domain name there. So close it. Now let's go back to the web browser and refresh this page, and as you can see, this is working. Now it's time to set up Next.js project. So let's go back to the project folder. Then this is the Next.js starter kit. I'm going to rename it as, first of all, let's copy this and paste it here, and I'm going to rename it as Moyo frontend. Okay, right click, then open with VS Code. Yes, I trust. And we will copy the text, this one. We will use find and replace feature. So search for it, check these 2 icons, and we are going to change it to Moyo frontend. Docker file, yes, change in Docker file. Package file, yes, don't need to change in .md files. Now uncheck this match whole word and just replace few other text. Now uncheck this one as well, and we will rename it. Dismiss md files. Now search for close mind AI, because this is the brand name which we have to change, and for us it's Moyo AI, right? So let's write it Moyo AI. Replace it Moyo AI. Yes, Moyo AI, and the description as well here as well. Okay, I think we are done. Let me search one more time. Close mind, no, close mind. Here we have close mind.ai. Okay, replace it, this one, and this one. We are not going to change domain because we need real domain here. So if you have domain like moyo.ai, then you can change it. Control S to save it. Now we'll run Next.js project. For Next.js project in the development, we do not need Docker file. As you can see, we do not have Docker file for development. But in this case, you must have Node.js installed in your machine, host machine, which I have. So copy this .env.example, copy and paste it. Then rename this file as .env. .env. Now we'll have to change few things, like we have to change it to dev. However, we do not have dev Docker file, but still we have to change. These all are correct. GA measurement ID, we already have it. So I'm gonna copy this. This is the measurement ID. Copy it and paste it here, measurement ID. And if you want to enable Google authentication for front end, which you should do if you have enabled it in backend, then you should enable it in the front end as well. I mean, both should be same. So right here, true. Same for Google GitHub authentication and reCAPTCHA as well. And you have to write site key. So I'm going back to the FastAPI project .env, and I'm looking for Google reCAPTCHA site key. Scroll down, this is the site key. Please make sure that you are copying site key, not secret key. Then paste it here. Email verification, if you have enabled email, I mean, if you have enabled require email verification in the backend, then you must enable it in the front end as well. This is all. done. Now we can run this project. So open the terminal, then run npm I to install packages, and this will take few seconds to install all required packages. Then run npm run dev and hit enter. The project should be up and running at 3000 port. So copy this, go back to the web browser, paste it here. Backend is already running. As you can see, backend is running, so the front end should also start. Talk to the future with Moyo AI. So this is the basic default theme which you can change. This is the front end part, Next.js part, and as we already have logged in using super admin credentials, so you can see go to dashboard. So simply click here and it will redirect you to super admin dashboard. This is super admin dashboard which has many features. You can change the view. This is the super admin view. If you want to view the dashboard as an admin, so simply select admin view. So this is the admin view. I mean, if a user is admin, then this is the dashboard he will use. There is also user view. So this is for the normal user. The normal user will have this screen when he will log in into this application. This is the only for super admin, and I mean the super user who can switch views. Next.js project is also running perfectly fine. Now let's run React Native project. For that you need Android emulator, and for Android emulator I have installed, I mean I use Android Studio. So let's start Android Studio. This is the Android Studio. This one is the emulator. So simply click on this play button which will start the simulator. So we have Android emulator here. Now we need to run React Native project. So go back to the project folder. If you want to rename, then you can simply find a replace. Okay, let me rename it as well, so we won't have any regrets later. So simply paste it, and we are going to rename it as Moyo app. Right click, open with VS Code. Yes, I trust. Then find and replace. Here you have to write this one, React Native. So copy this, paste it here. Then here you will write Moyo app. Check these two boxes, two icons. App.json, yes, rename in app.json. Package file, yes, rename in package file as well. You don't need to rename in MD file, so I'm going to dismiss all this. Let's dismiss all this file. Auth provider, yes, I would like to rename it, so simply click on replace. Uncheck the first one, match whole word. Okay, there is nothing to replace. These are all MD files. Then uncheck this match case button. Okay, there is nothing to replace as well. So let's look for close mind AI, which we will rename with Moyo AI or Moyo Dev or whatever we have in front end. Like me, it's Moyo AI, right? Moyo AI. So I'm going to rename it as Moyo AI. Click here, Moyo AI. And this is all done. Close it and copy this .env file, then paste it, and we'll have to rename it as .env file. And here we have to change two things, like if you want require email verification and change it to true. It should match I mean the value should match to the backend. When the backend you have require email verification true, then you should set expo public require email verification as true. Same for these credentials. Save it. Now you have to copy Google Web Client ID and GitHub Client ID here as well. So let's go back to the backend. Then GitHub Client ID. This is the client ID. So copy it. This one for GitHub. Then here we have to GitHub Client ID. Paste it here. Then Google Client ID. So this one is Google Client ID. Copy it. Then paste it here. And we are all done, I think. Open terminal, new terminal. Then install all packages required. npm I. This will install all packages which are required. Then simply run npm run android, then hit enter. After a few minutes, as you can see, the project is almost up in the emulator. So click on continue button, and here we just need to click this close button, and we are done. So this is the home screen for Android application. You can log in as well. So let's try to log in. SA, we have one super admin, so SA example.com. Password was super admin if I'm not wrong. Click on sign in button and it will redirect you to dashboard. So this is the super admin dashboard. We have sidebar. You can also switch view. This is the dashboard. This one is health. You can check your website web application health from your mobile application. Here is the maintenance. So you can enable disable your under construction page using your mobile application. That is really cool. In the profile where you can change your password or sign out from all devices you can check notifications here. So click here, then go to the profile and let's sign out. Click this button, sign out, then sign out, and you are signed up. You can use Google authentication and GitHub authentication as well. And you can change light mode to dark mode only after login. You can check forget password as well because we have recent configured. If you want to create a new account using mobile application, then click on simply sign up button and you have to provide name, email password, or you can use Google authentication or GitHub authentication. So this is the mobile application which is working fine. All three projects are running perfectly fine. In the web, this is the backend Swagger UI. This one is the Next.js project and this one is the React Native project. Now, as the projects are running without any issue, you may want to modify the source code. So this is the Next.js project. And if you want to modify the source code, you should read the documentation. How you can use rate limit, how you can use notification, how Google reCAPTCHA work, how email verification work, how sidebar navigation work. These all things are written in the documentation. By the way, Next.js, understanding Next.js is very easy. If you are a developer, Next.js developer, then this won't be difficult for you because I have used very basic logic but powerful and strong and secure one. Same for backend FastAPI. We have to study this documentation. This is very comprehensive as it is a backend. So once you understand the logic, you can modify this as well. You can add new feature or remove any of these features if you want, which I do not recommend. You can add new feature, but I would suggest you not to remove any default feature which I have developed. So this is it, guys. If you face any kind of issue running this project in local development, please DM me on LinkedIn. I will provide you support. See you in the next video.